is Crystal with Hattie's Hierophant. I am your tarot reader, and this is your general reading for June 2020. And the center of your reading, my love, is the Eight of Pentacles. And right away with that energy, I get that you are going to be super busy. So whatever it is that you do for work, and I hear for play, work and play. What are you doing playing and during during these times of craziness? I hear a lot of work and I hear a lot of play. And I also hear two Gemini that really pay attention to your finances. I see like that old school checkbook of checks and balances. Know where your money's going out and where you're spending it, because I feel like if you don't, you're going to miss out on a couple of things you should have been paying on. Really important there. I also feel like some of you Geminis, and I do not, I repeat, I do not encourage gambling at all. But I do feel like that if some of you try your luck, that you might end up with a little money. It won't be a whole bunch. It's not like, Powerball status. But I feel like that some of you will get a little happy surprise there financially. Gemini, some of us also really need to pay attention to our health. Listen, if some of you have prescription drugs that you are taking, make sure you're reading the labels and reading the times in which you are supposed to be taking them. I feel like some of us are, it's like you got your meds mixed up and you're taking one like you should be taking another. So just make sure you have them. And I feel like that it's done by accident. Like I see like them putting down accidentally. It's like you had them in a row somehow, or you had them in some sort of systematic way, and somehow they got out of order, and so you start taking them out of order. So double check that for those of you who are taking prescription meds, and even for those of you who aren't, but you're taking care of someone who is, do the same. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go into your moon energy. This is where your emotions are. It's where we communicate with spirit, and that's how we communicate, through meditating and thinking about something constantly, and then poof, they make it so. So let's see where you are standing, Gemini. You have the Nine of Wands, the Two of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So right now I'm getting some energy of some partnerships that we've had for a really long time. And I feel like that with this Queen of Wands energy, which is very dynamic, I almost feel like, Gemini, that there's someone really dynamic in that relationship realm. So I don't know if it's a husband or if it's a wife or a significant other or even a friend or even a family member. But I feel like there's this energy, this fire starter kind of energy. You know who they are. Like, as soon as I say them, you're like, that's such and such. Like, they've been starting some mess for the past long time. Let's just say that. Like, they're always in the middle mixing up some stuff. And frankly, you're like, listen, like I can't hang anymore with all this drama. I can't hang anymore with, with all this stuff that's always coming up, and it's always something, somebody's always doing something, saying something. Like, normally I'm down with you, but I'm tired. Like, I get that energy from you, Gemini. And for some of you Geminis, I feel like it's actual, like your children, nieces, nephews. It's like that kind of energy, to where, you're like that parental figure, and this energy of just like kind of popping off is like a younger kind of energy. And for some of you, it is a domestic partner. For some of you, it's been at a job that you've been at for a very long time. Yeah. And I feel like it's just one individual though. I feel like it's one individual for those of you at work who has this person who's always something's always wrong, always complaining, right? You've just kind of like had it. I'm going to see how that plays out when we expand, but let's talk about your sun energy now. You have the King of Pentacles, and your sun energy is your ego. It's where you show up in the world. And we also have the Temperance, along with the Empress energy. So, Spirit just told me, like, hey, Hattie's daughter, we understand you just told some of those Geminis that, they should go try their luck at, the Lady Luck. And Spirit's like, you know what? Yeah, you can try your luck because there is some alchemy that's kind of happening in your financial pocket. Like I can see like your actual wallet like sparkling. But they're like, don't spend what you don't have, right? Do not spend what you don't have. There needs to be a balance. If you have an extra $2, then use it $2. If you don't have an extra $2, then don't use it at all. Like that's the energy that I'm getting. Like you want to be smart, and that's what this King of Pentacles is all about. He's smart with his finances, right? He knows when to save. You know what I mean? And then he knows also when to start contributing into the stock market, and because he pays attention to all of those things, not just one. That's the most important part. The main reason why this is going to work for you, right? Remember how we said that some of you Geminis are going to get like a surprise money through like, you know, a scratch off or something like that. It's almost like you intuitively know because you've been watching how things have been going about. So for example, let's say that you buy a scratch off. The reason why you go for this particular scratch off because you saw the guy in front of you buy like 15, right? And you're like, okay, I feel like my odds will be good because I've seen him yank off 15, so maybe the next 15 will be even luckier for me because there's a big chunk or what have you. Or you see someone playing a slot machine for 2 hours, right? And they haven't won anything. You go in there with $5 and you win. It's like it's an intuitive thing because you're watching and paying attention. It's not necessarily luck. It's a little bit of luck, but mostly because you've been keeping your eyes and ears open and you've been looking at, you've been recognizing the system. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then with the Empress energy there, you know, that's one of prosperity. Prosperity and something new. I'm getting an energy there. No, it's not one of pregnancy. It's very interesting. I'm going to come back to that, Gemini. Maybe it has something to do with a new job. You know what? It's not a new job. Perhaps some of us are just going back to our job. Some of you have to go back to your job. Like if you've been collecting like unemployment or some sort of, you know, financial assistance or what have you, that's going to be running out soon. And it's going to be running out sooner than later is what I'm hearing. So don't be surprised. So if that opportunity to go back to work comes about, then go back. Okay. So we're going to expand on your immediate present, and we have the 7 of Wands along with the Ace of Pentacles. So again, it's that energy that I was telling you about. I don't think we need to harp on that any longer, but I also do get that energy of if we are offered a job or we're offered to go back to work, or you're offered like a gig, a side hustle, like whatever it is, I feel like if you take it, it is going to be financially beneficial. And for some reason, I feel like it's going to help you out health-wise too. So I don't know if maybe not working or not working as much has been affecting you mentally, Gemini, but I feel like there's been something to where like you're about to go stir crazy, right? And it kind of has you here. I feel like you're almost you know, getting irritated by things that normally don't get you irritated, like by little things. Because mentally you're in a different space, right? And really it's because you need to get out of the house, you need to make some money, and you need to see, you know, see your world moving again. And you are, like I see that. I feel like it's gonna be like this one little domino. So for example, if you get like this check in the mail, or you know, you get this scratch off and you win $300 or you win $50, it's almost like that's the spark. Then all of a sudden you'll get a phone call, and then this whole domino effect starts. That's how I see it for you. Listen, Jim. Listen. Can I call you Jim? Can I call you Jim? When I expand on that 9 of Wands, I get the Sun energy, along with the 7 of Swords. Listen, baby. This is what I'm telling you, Gemini. If you are offered this gig and you say no because you think like, nope, I'm making more money with the, you know, unemployment, or, you know, whatever it is, right? If you're in that situation and you're getting offered this gig, this side hustle, this job back, and you turn it down, somebody's going to take it from you. And that's going to be their little ray of sunshine. Okay? Don't let that happen. You've been there too long. You've put in too much work. And then I have that Queen of Wands, and we have the Ace of Cups along with the Emperor. See, that's that offer. And I feel like that some of you, again, like, you know, when I was saying like family members, and some of you where I get that energy of like father or uncle or what have you, that sort of dynamic, there's still a ton of love there, right? So even though you're kind of like tired of the drama and you're tired of something always being wrong, and even at work, and typically this energy is one of, you know, being at work in a job and a career, right? There's still a lot of love there, okay? Even though there's drama, we can be loving on how we put up with that situation and how we work through that situation. Then I expanded on the Two of Cups. We have the Tower, honey, and we have the Hierophant, along with the Eight of Swords, right? So, with this being said, with these things that we have going on, with these little annoyances and like something's always popping off and all this drama, right? It's bothering you more than it's bothering anyone else. And what's going to end up happening is if you kind of like don't do nothing, like you just let your emotions just kind of fester up, it's going to turn into this big old explosion, and you're going to do it in the middle of the job, and you're going to look like the crazy person, Gemini. I'm just saying. And some of us, in regards to relationship-wise, if some of us kind of have this thought process of, you know, your partner may be stepping out and, you know, not being 100% honest, again, it's one of those things where it's all in your head. Gemini, I feel like there's a lot of things that you're kind of making up in your head that are becoming your truth. And you're going to create these problems that really don't exist. And it could literally explode. At the same time, you know, I also get this energy. If some of you are in a domestic relationship and you have a child together and you feel like there's some dishonesty there, I feel like there is too. I'm just encouraging you to look into that. And only, you know, and you know who you are, you know which situations are yours. But if you feel like something's just not feeling right, check it out, okay? Yeah, and I feel, man, I really hate to say this, but I almost feel like that some of us almost need to get like a paternity test to see if the child actually is, you know, yours. I feel like we actually have to go to a doctor's office and we have to get a paternity test. I do. To really ease your mind, right? Because Gemini, like I said, some of you is just in your head and it's your truth. Doesn't necessarily make it the truth, but it's your truth. And there's something that has to come down. There's something that has to change in your thought process to where, okay, now you know, oh, okay, this is my kid. Now I can really commit. And we're not saying that you're not committed, Gemini, but you could be doing this whole energy of, you know, your heart's not 100% in it because you're not 100% sure. So I feel like this is going to make you 100% sure either way, right? I have never delivered a message like that, but there it is. All right, so just so we talk about some energies here, we have some Leo energy, Aries energy, along with some Gemini, which is you, my dear. You showed right on up, and we'll talk about that along with some Leo energy here as well, and Sagittarius energy. I expanded on that King of Pentacles, and we have the Strength along with the Queen of Cups. And I love this energy. This is an energy of a very maternal kind of energy. It's that energy of a loving protection, right? It's one of a gentleness. And it's also an energy of I'm I'm going to protect you from this mean world kind of energy. I expanded on that Emperor energy, and I have the Page of Swords along with the Lover's energy. And so we have this here. We have this here with the Emperors, the Lovers, and we have the Page of Swords. So you remember how I was saying in your moon energy, like if we have that domestic relationship, or even for those of us who are married, because we did get the Hierophant too, and you're kind of questioning, like, is that my kid? Did we make that child out of our love? Was that pregnancy legit? Like, I see this actually happening in your ego energy. I feel like that we are going to address this. Let me expand on this Temperance energy, because really, Gemini, I don't feel like it's something we need to be afraid of. Really, I just feel like it's just something that you need to settle mentally for yourself. Yeah. Well, so I expanded on that Temperance card, and I have the World energy, and this is all about cycles, and it could be traveling for some of us, but I don't feel travel for you, Gemini. I do feel like a ending of a cycle is happening. And then I have the Hermit card here, and the Hermit is really a seeking counsel, right? And perhaps this is even us kind of going within, and we're kind of thinking about retracking our steps and timelines. Like, I feel that's really happening with some of us. And with some of us, we're going to realize that there was a third party involved, and perhaps that is not my child after all, or probably something not that drastic, but of to where there was some dishonesty, to where there was some stepping out sort of energy that I feel there. I'm sorry, Gemini, I'm just getting all relationship information in your ego. I'm not really getting any work-related energy there. So Gemini, if you had traveled in the past several months, in the past 3 to 6 months, if you've traveled in the past 3 to 6 months and you've met someone overseas, they're looking for you. They're looking for you via Facebook. I don't know if maybe your Facebook name isn't the same as the name that you have, or whatever the case. Like, they're trying every which way to try to find you. I feel like they have your email. Check your emails. I feel like they have your email address, and they've been trying to contact you that way, and maybe it went into trash or something. So look there. Okay, so let's expand on your immediate present. Bizarre. So I expanded on your 7 of Wands, and we have the Moon energy along with the 8 of Pentacles. The reason I said this is bizarre because, I shuffle for a really long time in between readings, and I do them every which way, and for some reason there's a relationship between your sister signs. And I saw some similar cards pop up for your sister signs, and we have this Moon energy along with this 7 of Pentacles that's happening in your immediate present. So again, it's just, Gemini, I feel like some of you are just, like I said, I feel like some of you are just going to be really lucky. You're going to be like, how the heck did I, like I said, you're going to see someone stand in line, they're going to pick 15, scratch offs, you get the next 15, the first 3 are like, 100, 100, 100, or 50, 50, 50, whatever. I'm not trying to get your hopes up, okay? I'm just saying. And it's kind of like, how the heck, it's going to be like this moment where you're standing like, oh my gosh, how the heck, what made me buy these tickets? It's going to be like that kind of feeling. Listen, I also feel like that some of you, if you haven't received any type of like unemployment or any type of money that's coming from the government for you, I feel like you need to be waiting by the mailbox. I feel like this, like it's just not the safest. I don't want to say the safest. It just may not get to you. I'm actually seeing it like fly away, and then like the postman isn't going after it. Like I see like these weird like happenstances. It's like all these weird little things that are happening. So if you haven't received it and you're expecting it, try to meet the mailbox there. And it's like, because it'll blow away or going to someone else's mailbox by accident, like it's weird. Also be careful about your own mail. Make sure you're going through every piece of it. Your check may be in there. Your card may be in there. There may be a card for you and they're like, hey, we're sorry that you were laid off, and the whole team pitched in some cash and they put it in the card. Don't throw it out. Like, go through all your mail, open it up. I feel like that you're gonna have something there too. And then I expanded on that Ace of Pentacles, and we have the Ace of Swords. So not only these new beginnings, but it's encouragement of these new ideas that can turn into something fruitful for you. Not only financially, but even where you live and how you see yourself, you know, health-wise. Because I do feel like that is something that's really important for us to discuss, Gemini, is your health. I feel like we really need to encourage ourselves to seek out people, doctors, even literature about certain ailments that you're having, because I feel like we're missing something. And I feel like that if you search it out, you'll find it. And I feel like you need to keep searching it out. The Knight of Pentacles he's a slow knight. He's very deliberate. So I feel like you almost need to comb through information. Like, even if you've been given certain meds to give to someone or given certain meds to take for yourself, I feel like that you need to go through some literature and read upon it, because I feel like they missed something, and there's something else to it. Like, you either need to take a different type of medication or whatever the case. Okay, now I am an intuitive reader. I am not a doctor. This is just energy that I'm picking up, so please, I do have to say that disclaimer. All right, my love. We are going to expand on your center energy of the Eight of Pentacles and see what we have. I expanded and we have the Nine of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, along with the Star energy. So we have some Aquarian energy here, some Earth energy here as well. Gemini, I really feel like you're going to benefit from so many people, like so many zodiacs. Energetically, yeah. Gemini, please check out this health. I just got really, really dizzy just now. So Spirit is really like, you know, that they really want to bring that home to really get that checked out. Back to the ending, the icing on your spiritual reading, the Nine of Pentacles with the Four of Swords. I feel like that, again, this Nine of Pentacles is a very gifted energy, right? Meaning it's a surprise gift, or you're going to be gifted for something. We've already talked about that. It's also a very independent energy. So I also feel like we need to take a rest from that independence. From that I can do it by myself sort of energy. I feel like that we need to communicate more what our needs are, what our desires are, and not only that, but where we are struggling. This is really important. Don't be afraid to communicate how you feel and how you're feeling, and not only emotionally but physically as well. Okay, and then we have the Star energy here, and this is one of hope. This is one of being led, right? And I feel like we've talked about this. I feel like that you're being led in certain directions. Like, you're so intuitive for June, July. I hear June, July, August, actually. I hear June, July, August. Intuitively, you are going to be making your moves. And in some cases, it's going to be like a little freak out for you, to where you're like, whoa, like I dreamt this, I felt this. This feels like deja vu. It's going to feel really weird and bizarre, almost like you're on this other like plane. And I'm going to end it there, okay? Before we go too far off, right? Okay, Gemini, I'm going to pull your angel card, my love. And your card is that of forgiveness. I love that energy of forgiveness. It's such a, it is such a shift in your spiritual self when you forgive. And I feel like we are going to need some forgiveness because I have that tower energy that's happening, your moon energy, and then we have this energy here. So I feel like forgiveness is going to be a big part of your next few months. Because I do feel like that this reading is not only for June, but I can feel it kind of trickling to July and August for us. June, July, August, right? I have 3 there. I feel like that forgiveness is going to be a big part, and it's going to be more important that you forgive because it's more important to you than it is to anyone else. Okay, because it's going to help your mental health. It's going to help your physical health too. And those 2 things, I'm telling you, they are ringing loud as a bell for me, for you. All right, Gemini, that is all I have, my dear. Thank you for being so patient with me. I know I'm super sporadic with uploading videos. I am trying to get on some sort of like system. And if this is your first time seeing me, welcome. If this is a returning video, thank you. And I'll see you next month. I absolutely adore you.